A long time ago, there lived a set of three people in the village of Akura. One of them was Asuzu. Asuzu was a young man of 28 years of age. He was rich and successful. He had lost his parents at a very tender age. And so, being the eldest of the three children his parents had, he had hustled a lot to make ends meet and to train his younger ones to achieve and become successful in life before making himself what he became. He was rich and lived well. The second person was Eto. Eto was a beautiful girl. She had won the heart of Asuzu for a very long time. And so Asuzu had decided to marry her. She lived with him in the same house because they were newly married. The third person was Achala. Achala was a girl who had lost her parents when she was just 8 years old. She was now in the care of her parents' friends, who lived very close to where Suzu and his wife Etu lived. Almost every day, Asuzu would buy precious gifts for his beloved wife, Etu, when returning home from his business, just to make her happy. But Etu was never grateful. She was always unhappy, lazy, and nagging Asuzu. Asuzu had gotten married in order to have a loving companion that would treat him well and shower him with love, since he had lost his parent and had no one left to be with him, started becoming sad at what he was experiencing in Eto's hands. "I'm a young man, rich and well built," he lamented one day when the problem was much. "Why do I deserve this kind of treatment from a young girl like you, Eto, despite all I'm trying to do to make you comfortable?" He asked her that day as Eto was dragging him disgracefully outside the house. "Because I'll make sure you never find the happiness you are looking for," Etu said. "What?" exclaimed her husband in disbelief. "Hey, I can't believe it. That you don't want me to have happiness?" "Yes, you heard me right," Etu shouted at him. "Is this the color of car I told you to buy for me? Stupid man," she said, pointing at the car that Asuzu had bought for her. She gave Asusu the insults of his life, and there was never a moment of rest in the house. People that they tried to intervene and make peace between them, but Eto was a terrible girl, taking Asusu's love, loneliness, and situation for granted. Every time those things were happening, Achala would be sitting outside the home where she shared with her parents' friends, watching and pitying the unhappy young man. She wished she was the man's wife. She would have been very happy and grateful at receiving all those comfortable things he always bought for his wife, Eto, the ungrateful lady. She always greeted Asuzu well in a respectful manner each time she walked past him because she felt he was a kind and responsible man. Achala could barely eat 3 meals a day where she lived because they did not have. So she longed for a blessing to cross her path someday in her life. Now look at someone having all the things she longs for and taking it for granted. Asusu was a man that was good for any good woman. So Achala will be watching each time. Asusu on his part liked Achala too and wished he had seen her first before he would have married her. One fateful day, Etu in anger packed her belongings outside the house. She said that she was leaving the house and she didn't want the marriage anymore. Asuzu was begging her not to leave him, not to disgrace him, because that was what always happened each time Etu said she was leaving. Asuzu would be crying because he needed love, he needed comfort, he needed peace from a woman that would be like a mother to him since he had no mother anymore. But Etu would not listen to his pleas each time he begged her. She refused. She always used that to subdue him and get whatever she wanted from him. But life took a different turn that very day when she brought out her things that she was leaving. Achala, sitting where she was, felt bad and she had had enough. She walked up to Etu to intervene, which she had never done before. She tried to talk Etu into calming down and going back into the house. But Etu will not agree. Achala became annoyed and said calmly to her, "See, young lady, you are lucky to have a husband as kind, calm, and generous as Asuzu. If you leave him now, you may not get the chance to find such a man again in your life." "What?" shouted Etu in anger. "You might as well have him. You might as well have such a stupid man if it's your taste then. How can I tell a man to buy me a red car or go and buy me a white car? For what?" And with that, Etu raised up her hands and lashed out at Achala, giving her a heavy slap that dazed Achala. Stung by such a heavy slap and her head reeling, Achala turned in anger to Asuzu, mischief now evident in her eyes, and said, "Why are you crying like a woman, young man? You deserve someone better than her. Leave her and let her be. She has packed out her things and so let her go." Asuzu felt a calmness he had never felt before fall on his shoulders. He looked into Achala's eyes, and it was as if he was being comforted by a motherly love. He got up and followed Achala. "Let's go inside. From now on, I'm going to take her place because she does not deserve you. I don't normally do this, but I will do it to prove to her that there are other women who are stronger than her. I, Achala, am going to be your wife from now on," she said, hitting her chest. To everyone's amazement, Etu was surprised at the scene playing before her. With her things outside in front of her, she did not know what to do again. "From now on," Achala said, turning to her boldly and shamelessly, "the Asuzu you've rejected will be my husband, and I his wife. You can go now, since you hate him so much." And with that, Achala led Asuzu into the house. She prepared a hot meal and a hot bath for him, and he took his bath and ate the food. Just imagine, everything of comfort was in the house, in the kitchen, everything. And Etu was taking it for granted. After Achala had done all these things, Achala went outside only to find that a crowd had gathered in front of the house. She told Asuzu to follow her outside. She locked the door behind and they both went into Achala's home where she lived with her guidance. She told them that they should not be annoyed the way things are going, but she wanted to prove that a woman can surpass another woman. She wanted to prove it to Etu, since she did not deserve what other women were looking for. So she said she would become Asuzu's wife. She knew Asuzu liked her, and she had the confidence that he would get to love her someday. Having made such an arrangement, she begged her guidance not to be annoyed. She packed her belongings and, to the surprise of everyone, went back to Asuzu's house with him. Etu was sitting down on a chair waiting for them. "Why are you still here?" Achala asked. "I thought you refused everyone's plea to marry him. You'd better leave now because I'm his new wife." "What?" Etu exclaimed. "It's my husband, and so you cannot do that. You can't take him from me." Achala laughed. "You slapped me because I was begging you to come back to your home, your matrimonial home, where everything is being given to you. A nice man that gives you everything, but you refused. Let me tell you, I have taken over because I need that kind of attention. And you've even told me to have him. So that's exactly what I'm doing right now. So you better leave. Leave this place before I get my hands on you." She entered the house with Asusu and shut the door. Etu began to shout, "Leave my husband alone for me, oh! You evil girl, you want to take my husband, my precious husband." People around started to hiss. Some said, "That serves you right. You deserve what you are getting right now." Some said, "Good riddance. Let the young man live his life with a better option." Others said, "You don't know the value of what you have. Now you will miss it all." That was how the marriage between Asuzu and Etu ended. Asuzu and Achela got married and they had lovely children that united Asuzu's family together. Etu, out of shame, left the town. She never found any man as caring and loving as Asuzu again in her life, in her entire life. That is why any man or woman who has a good husband or wife should appreciate and cherish them. Or because you may never find someone as good as the person you are having. Now, that's the end of the story. Thanks for watching.